Hello everyone, this is Kritika here and I welcome all of you to Zen Study. On 6th July, the world celebrated International Day of Cooperatives. So on the basis of that, today we will be discussing about cooperatives and a very new but a very significant topic, that is Ministry of Cooperation. Now, what exactly is a cooperative? According to the International Labour Organization, a cooperative is an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. That is, it is a sovereign body. Like-minded people having common goals and aspirations of a common business, they come together and they form an organization, and the decisions are taken unanimously, and it is a small democratic setup. Now, according to the Cooperative Societies Act of 1912, at least 10 members should be a part of that group to be eligible to form a cooperative. Less than that, it will just be a group, but it will not be called a cooperative. Now we come to what is the Ministry of Cooperation. Now this ministry has been recently started, that is in 2021 by the central government after the budget session that was presented by the then finance minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. So what is the vision behind it? The vision behind the formation of Ministry of Cooperation is Sahkar se Samriddhi, that is prosperity through cooperation, and to give impetus or a constitutional and an institutional backing to the cooperatives which are functioning in our country. Initially, this Ministry of Cooperation was under Ministry of Agriculture. So what was the need that we had to separate it from the Ministry of Agriculture? The main reason is agriculture is in itself a holistic term. It has various allied sectors associated with it, such as fisheries, apiculture, pisciculture, horticulture. So, to give an institutional impetus to these sectors and to enable an entrepreneurial outlook for in these sectors, we came up with this proposal that we want to establish a separate ministry, separated from the Ministry of Agriculture, that is Ministry of Cooperation. What is the significance of this Ministry of Cooperation? It is going to provide a separate administrative, legal and policy framework for strengthening the cooperative movement in the country. Next is, it will deepen cooperatives and enable a grassroots ecosystem. A grassroots things like concepts of cooperative, concepts of entrepreneurship activities coming from the grassroots of the rural sector. Next is, it will streamline the process for ease of doing business for cooperatives and enable the development of multi-state cooperatives. That is, it is going to promote a system of cooperative federalism. By linking various states, different states can also come together and form a common cooperative and promote interstate trade. Now, what are the major initiatives of this Ministry of Cooperation? The first is economically strengthening of primary cooperative societies. By financial inclusion, by providing credit facilities, the cooperatives which are in dying state, we aim to revive such cooperatives. Next is model bylaws for making PACs multi-purpose. What is a PAC? Primary Agricultural Credit Societies. Now, these societies which will be formed, they will aim towards financial inclusion by making credit facilities easier for the rural entrepreneurs as well as MSMEs. Establishment of multi-purpose PACs, dairies, fisheries, cooperative societies in every panchayat and village. The ambition is to open at least one PSC in each and every village of India by 2027. Formation of new farmer producer organizations by PSCs. Farmers, marginal farmers, or small business entrepreneurs, they will be encouraged to come together by these primary agricultural credit societies and form a group or a cooperative and function unanimously. Next is, these PSCs will not just act as centers for credit facilities or financial inclusion, but they will also act as centers for digitalization. You can also approach these centers as seed banks or stores for buying fertilizers. Also, they are functioning as Jan Aushadhi Kendra. That is, these are those centers where generic medicines are available at a very nominal price. So it is going to be a holistic setup, not just for financial inclusion, but also for digital inclusion. And also we can see that the health aspect has been integrated into it. Next is, how is the Ministry of Cooperation going to help in rural development? It's a very obvious thing. If so many work is going to go on, it will definitely lead to empowerment. Empowerment of whom? Empowerment of the women. Empowerment of the marginal farmers. Empowerment of the poor people who are there in the rural sector. Next is, it's going to create employment opportunities, because we know FPOs are going to be set up, PSCs are going to be set up, there will be training facilities available. So it is going to create a lot of employment facilities. Next is, it is going to make the infrastructure more viable, because nowadays, at this present situation, the rural sector is suffering mainly from infrastructure, dearth of infrastructure facilities. So post-harvest facilities, pre-harvest facilities, also various training of how you can make your cooperative function smoothly. These facilities will be provided. Next is, a trained set of manpower is going to be recruited to make these dying cooperatives, or also the new cooperatives which are going to come up, more active to face the main market and to enter the mainstream market ecosystem. Again, irrigation is another issue, because most of the farmers today are dependent on monsoon. So if we can create certain aspects by which the farmers will not be completely dependent on monsoon for irrigation. Next is, so this is one way by which these Ministry of Cooperation is going to help in rural growth and rural infrastructure and farmers' prosperity. If so many things will be going on, obviously it will lead to economic inclusion, financial inclusion. It will enable quality life of the farmers. Not only will they be able to face the main market in terms of business, but they will be able to provide a quality life to their families as well. So what are the challenges that are going to come when we will be implementing such policies with the help of Ministry of Cooperation? The first challenge will be mismanagement and manipulation. We know that the rural people are very naive, because they lack a very basic form of education is lacking in them. So it is very easy, very easy to manipulate them. By whom? By the people who are in power. There is lack of awareness among the rural people, or the people who are going to form cooperatives. There is lack of awareness. So making them aware, training them, it's going to be a challenge for us. Next is restricted coverage. India has wide topography. It is not possible to reach each and every corner of the country. So again, geographical factors, technical factors, digital problems of electricity, problems of digitalization, these are going to act as challenges. Next is dearth of trained staff. We know that this is a novel theme that has been proposed. So we don't quite know what exactly will be proposed, what are the new policies that will be coming up. So the training, the people who will be training further people is also going to be a challenge. Political interference, we know if there will be people in power, they will try to misuse their power in a negative way. Market linkages is going to be a very major problem because it's not just within the state, but interstate factors will also come into play. Various states, it's very important to integrate the different states so that they work unanimously and in a supportive environment. And again, there is lacking of professionalism, especially in the rural sector. So bringing out that professional aspect, inculcating that professionalism spirit among the rural people might be a viable challenge. So, should there be challenge? So what should we do? We should just give up? No, we have to look for way forwards. So what can be the way forward? The first thing is technology in this case will act as a boom to promote activities of cooperative system in the rural sector. Next is by inculcating this feeling of cooperation, by inculcating this feeling of oneness, of individualism, as well as being accountable towards your organization is going to be very much beneficial to make these cooperatives work in a functional manner. There will be irregularities, but to check them, we have to come up with rules and norms and stricter regulations. Though such rules which can be unanimously followed by everyone without difficulties. And it's a democratic setup. It is owned by everyone. There is no common leader. There is no there will be a common leader, but there is no one leader. Everyone is the owner, everyone is the leader. So we have to come up with rules and regulations in such format that it will be followed by everyone. Next is to strengthen the cooperatives, there has to be market linkage to make this system work and to make these rural entrepreneurs face the mainstream business sector in a very easy manner. So for this, both the central as well as the state players and maybe even the private players will have to come together to function in an efficient manner, forgetting all their problems and forgetting all their previous issues, so that this Ministry of Cooperation and the spirit of cooperativeness can function smoothly. So that was it for today. I hope we have been able to convey this message. We have been able to convey this importance of this topic to you. So thank you. And for you, there is a task. Please mention in the comment box where and in which manner the Constitution has mentioned the word cooperative, and so please mention which articles are there which mentions the word cooperative. Thank you. Hope to see you in the next video.